All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is an educational channel. We check out great theories, concepts, and discoveries that you may not be familiar with because they've been suppressed. And these are things that the powers that be don't want you to know. But if you only did know, they would make a big impact in your life, especially in terms of healing mentally, physically, and spiritually. And this is a segment we have that is called the Q-tip of the spear. And here we look at the InfoWar through my eyes. Just some musings on some of the podcasts that I've seen recently, and just nothing comprehensive, just idiosyncratic. And yeah, well, I have been focusing a lot on religion and just kind of really saying that there's no moving forward into the golden age on the basis of Christianity. That's not going to work. Let's say that's a movement in the backwards direction, and we have to move forward. And it's also not true because it was written by the Romans. The New Testament was written by the Roman Caesars of the Flavian dynasty, and that can be proven. It has been proven by me on my channel, and it's been proven by a number of different authors uh, that have been suppressed, and that nobody in the Patriot movement knows anything about somehow. They seem to know everything about everything, but they have some gaping blind spots, which I have another segment for that, which is called Your Blind Side. But this one, um, yeah, so I feel like the platform that we move forward on would be deism. Deism, many of the founders of this country were deists, and the only mention of God in the Constitution is in deist terms. Um, and, uh, we had Thomas Paine and Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin. They all were deists to one extent or another. Thomas Young, Ethan Allen. And deism is the belief in one God who is good, who has given the human beings higher spiritual and mental faculties like reason and intuition and creativity and inspiration and aesthetics, curiosity and wonderment. And these can be used to behold God's works, God's creation, nature directly. Also, the principles and laws of physics and math and geometry, and the beauty of all of those interlocking systems, the elegance. And that enables the human beings to know God directly, not through intermediaries like popes and priests, pastors, ministers, and rabbis, and not through books, not through testaments and Qurans, but directly. That is the golden age. We don't make our religions by, consensus or fanaticism. It comes from reality. And unfortunately, the religions that are currently existing are in conflict with reality, all of them. Uh, the New Testament of the Bible is a fiction, a psychological operation written by the Romans. The same is true of the Quran, written by descendants of those Romans. And the Old Testament of the Bible is a book of history and has no religious significance other than the first chapter of Genesis, which may have some religious significance. Um, and the rest of it is how this dude named Yahweh Elohim, and Elohim is his group, the group that he belongs to. The other Elohim are his competitors, Baal and Shamash and Ashtoreth and Moloch. These are all also Elohim, which has been translated as God, but really means those who came down, or uh, it also may have to do with giant in stature. They were big dudes, they were powerful dudes, they were um, smart, technologically advanced, but not God. They were very flawed individuals, um, arguably psychopathic. Certainly, in the case of Yahweh Elohim, had quite a few psychopathic tendencies, and there's no religion involved in it. It's the Ten Commandments have nothing to do with right or wrong. They have to do with, can you obey Yahweh Elohim? That's what all of it is. All of it is just about, can you obey? Not why you would obey, or not um, you would do the thing that is right or ethical. That's not part of the equation. Now, the history that's given in the Old Testament seems to be pretty accurate when uh, you know put next to other histories. But there isn't any religious significance for the Old Testament. So, moving forward on the basis of deism would seem to be a good idea. Now, tying this to the InfoWar, I've just seen a lot of people getting emotionally attached and connected to the boss who's saying, uh, uh, praise be to Allah. And some people are all up in arms because this is insulting to Islam. And then other Christians are up in arms because it is Trump really, is he really a Muslim? Was he really serious about that? He's giving credit to uh Allah? Y- Well, you just need to think about it. I think, you know, um if there is one God, then it's the same God. Do you really think that you have a different God? And if so, who is it? Is it Satan? Because it would have to be, wouldn't it? Because there is only one God. So who else would it be? Um, and I just think that a switch to deism just kind of nips these problems in the bud. Um, you know, as opposed to pretending that either one of those religions is legitimate, because neither of them is. And so you guys are arguing over two things that are both fraudulent. So this is a lose-lose argument that you're involved in, which would be avoided. Just do the one God, and you can determine the nature of that God on your own. But the God is good, and the God has given us the ability to, understand God directly. Okay, we're going to stop right there. Like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and we'll see you next time on the Q-tip of the spear. Have a great day.